This man just killed the biggest animal his tribe has eaten in weeks. He's about to walk into camp expecting respect. Instead, they're going to insult him. On purpose. And if he argues back, he'll be an outcast by morning. This wasn't cruelty. It was survival. For 300,000 years, humans had every chance to get rich, and they built entire cultures around making sure no one did. If you enjoy videos like this, subscribe to the channel and hit like. It genuinely helps. Now, back to the hunter, still walking into that firelight. That insult I mentioned? It has a name anthropologists still study today. And it's not an insult at all. It's a survival mechanism so effective it could get you exiled from the only people keeping you alive. We'll get to exactly what they say to him. But first, you need to understand what getting rich even meant 300,000 years ago, because it's almost nothing like what you're picturing. For most of human history, our ancestors were hunter-gatherers, moving camp every few weeks. There was no refrigeration, no permanent storage, no bank vault. If you killed an antelope, it started rotting within days. If you tried to carry a pile of possessions with you, you'd be the one struggling to keep up on the move. Wealth, in the way we think of it, a stockpile you sit on, wasn't just discouraged. It was physically impractical. You couldn't hoard what you couldn't carry or keep. But here's the part that surprises most people. Even when early humans could have stockpiled a surplus, meat, tools, hides, many cultures actively punished anyone who tried to look important because of it. There's a term for this in anthropology: aggressive egalitarianism. And one anthropologist spent years living with a hunter-gatherer group, documenting how far they'd go to stop a single person from rising above the group. What he watched them do to a proud hunter is the whole reason that man in the firelight is about to be insulted to his face. This isn't speculation, it's documented fieldwork. Anthropologist Richard Lee spent years with the Jew Hoansi people of the Kalahari, one of the last hunter-gatherer societies studied in detail before modern life reached them. He wanted to understand how they handled someone who consistently brought in the biggest kills. Logically, you'd expect that person to become a leader, maybe even accumulate status, privileges, extra food. Instead, Lee found the opposite. The better a hunter performed, the harder the group worked to knock him back down. Not with violence, but with something almost more effective: humiliation. So what did they say to our hunter? When a Jew Hoansi man brought back a large kill, the group wouldn't praise it. They'd look at the animal and say something like, "That's a scrawny, worthless thing. Why did you even bother dragging it back?" Lee called this practice insulting the meat. It sounds harsh, but it was deliberate social engineering. If you let a great hunter believe he was better than everyone else, the Jew Hoansi believed, he'd eventually start acting like it, demanding respect, hoarding the best cuts, seeing himself as a chief. In a group of 30 people entirely dependent on each other to survive, that kind of ego wasn't just annoying. It was dangerous. So they killed it before it could grow. And that raises a much bigger question. If humans have always been capable of building hierarchies and getting rich off other people's labor, what actually changed? What flipped the switch? The Jew Hoansi and groups like them weren't rejecting wealth out of ignorance. They'd built an entire alternative economy around something researchers call demand sharing. If you had more than you needed, others could simply ask for it, and you were expected to give it, no negotiation, no debt owed back. It sounds inefficient by modern standards, but it was actually a form of insurance. Today, you shared your surplus meat. Next month, when your hunt comes up empty, someone shares theirs with you. Nobody accumulates wealth, but nobody starves alone either. Anthropologist James Sussman's later research on similar groups found something else striking. By some estimates, hunter-gatherers may have spent as little as 15 hours a week actually working to meet their needs, far less than the modern work week most of us live under. So, if egalitarianism worked this well for hundreds of thousands of years, why does none of it survive today? Why do we now live in a world completely built around individual wealth, private property, and inequality? The answer isn't that humans changed. It's that one single invention broke the entire system that kept everyone equal, and once it existed, there was no putting it back. That invention was agriculture, starting roughly 12,000 years ago. Grain changed everything, because unlike meat, it doesn't rot in days, it can be stored for months, even years. For the first time, a family could sit on a literal pile of wealth. And once storage was possible, so was defending it, inheriting it, and passing it down. Fixed land replaced nomadic movement. Fences replaced open sharing. The same psychological instincts that once made a hunter show off his kill now had an outlet that couldn't be shamed away with an insult around a campfire. Because the grain was locked inside four walls, not sitting in plain sight for the whole camp to see and share. Archaeological sites like Adelhike and early Mesopotamian settlements show us the exact moment the switch flipped. Grave goods, jewelry, tools, ornaments start appearing unevenly. Some burials are stacked with valuables, others have nothing at all. That's the first physical evidence of inequality showing up in the human record, and it appears almost immediately after permanent, storable surplus became possible. In other words, humans didn't need thousands of years to start wanting to get rich once the opportunity existed. It happened almost instantly. Which means the real answer to why didn't ancient humans want to get rich was never about desire at all. They wanted status and security exactly like we do. What they lacked, for 300,000 years, was a form of wealth that could be hoarded, hidden, and defended. The instinct never disappeared. It was just waiting for the right invention to unlock it. So the next time you see someone flexing wealth, remember, for the vast majority of human history, doing that in front of your own group could get you shamed, ostracized, or worse. It wasn't a lack of ambition that kept ancient humans equal.